UK's stupid plan to ban ransom payments. Cyber criminals rejoice. Cybercrime is evolving fast, and the UK is taking a bold stand by planning to prohibit public sector organisations from paying ransoms to cyber attackers. But here's where it gets controversial. Is outlawing ransom payments the right move, or could it inadvertently make things worse? On July 22, 2025, the UK government announced a sweeping plan to bar public sector bodies, including critical national infrastructure operators, like the National Health Service, NHS, local councils, and schools from settling ransomware demands. This decision comes on the heels of several high-profile cyber attacks that severely disrupted essential services, sparking national debate about how best to fight this digital menace. The UK's experience with ransomware has been painful and eye-opening. The notorious WannaCry attack in 2017 crippled the NHS, leaving hospitals struggling to provide care and causing chaos across the healthcare system. More recently, in 2023, the British Library faced operational setbacks after refusing to pay a ransom, highlighting the difficult choices organisations face when attacked. Security Minister Dan Jarvis emphasised the government's resolve by stating, "We're determined to dismantle the ransomware business model and safeguard the vital services everyone depends on." His words reinforce the UK's commitment to a unified front against ransomware criminals, signalling a shift toward more aggressive policies. To clarify for those unfamiliar, ransomware is malicious software that infiltrates computer systems, encrypts or steals data, and demands payment in exchange for the release or return of that data. This cyber extortion is estimated to cost the UK economy millions of pounds each year, affecting not just finances, but also operational stability and even public safety. There have been reported cases where ransomware-induced delays contributed to patient deaths in healthcare settings. The government's approach includes launching a ransomware payment prevention framework, which legally prohibits the payment of ransoms in the affected public sectors. In addition, a ransomware incident reporting system will be introduced, requiring affected entities to report attacks promptly. For businesses outside the immediate ban, the government plans to mandate notification before paying any ransom, enabling authorities to provide guidance and potentially intervene. Such reporting mechanisms aim to equip law enforcement and cybersecurity teams with crucial intelligence to track down cybercriminals and disrupt their operations more effectively. This move also reflects concerns over the broader ripple effects ransomware can have, from stopping services at major British retailers like Marks and Spencer and Co-op Group, shaking public trust, to causing significant financial losses and operational headaches. But here's the part most people miss. Banning ransom payments might deter some attacks, but could also lead criminals to become more ruthless, target different sectors, or use riskier tactics. What's your take? Should governments absolutely forbid ransom payments? Or is there a case to be made for more nuanced strategies that balance deterrence with pragmatic risk management? Join the conversation. Do you agree with the UK's hardline stance, or think alternative approaches might work better? Share your thoughts below and let's explore the complexities of combating ransomware together. UK's new ransomware reporting rules. What you need to know. The UK government is taking a significant step forward with its plans to make reporting ransomware attacks mandatory, but the journey is far from over, and many questions about the true impact of these measures remain. This move follows a recent consultation, sparking debate among experts and the public alike about how practical and effective these rules will truly be. In the UK, public consultations are a routine part of shaping new laws, offering a chance for citizens and stakeholders to weigh in. In this recent consultation, the Home Office proposed three main strategies aimed at addressing the growing ransomware menace. 1. Prohibiting organizations within the public sector, or those managing critical national infrastructure, CNI, from paying ransom to attackers. 2. requiring victims to notify government authorities before making any extortion payments. 3. Instituting a mandatory obligation for all ransomware victims to report attacks to law enforcement agencies. The Home Office's official response, published on Tuesday, provides a comprehensive overview of the feedback collected, both supportive and critical. This comes on the heels of several high-profile ransomware incidents in the UK, including attacks that disrupted supply chains at major grocery stores, and even one that tragically played a part in the death of a hospital patient in London. Here's where it gets controversial. Even though these proposals are being marketed as part of the government's ambitious plan for change, they aren't new. In fact, they closely mirror a set of policies developed under the previous Conservative administration, before the snap election delayed their rollout. Critics argue these measures are already behind the curve, given that ransomware attacks have dominated government crisis meetings for years. Jamie McCall, a senior research fellow at the Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, welcomes the renewed focus. It's a good sign the government is finally recognizing the threat ransomware poses to UK businesses and vital infrastructure, he said. However, he remains doubtful about how much impact the targeted ban on ransom payments will have. This skepticism stems from the nature of ransomware crimes. As highlighted in an insightful white paper by the National Crime Agency, NCA, and National Cybersecurity Center, NCSC, ransomware is largely opportunistic. Cybercriminals often don't analyze complex legal frameworks or distinguish between different sectors. They simply seek the easiest victims. So banning payments specifically for public sector or critical infrastructure operators might not deter attackers, but could hamper victims' ability to recover quickly without government approval. Another pillar of the plan is mandatory reporting of attacks, intended to give the government better insight into the ransomware landscape and potentially stop payments flowing to sanctioned criminal groups. While increased reporting can improve visibility, McCall warns there's a dangerous catch. If law enforcement doesn't get more resources, this flood of new data could become a burden, rather than an asset. Currently, the NCA has achieved some notable success, such as spearheading an international operation to dismantle the notorious Lockbit ransomware gang, responsible for a quarter of global attacks before they were taken down. Still, the NCA's leadership openly admits they are stretched thin and need more funding to do more. No additional financial support has been pledged yet, even though experts and officials alike are pushing for a proactive stance rather than a reactive one. McCall stressed, if we're asking agencies to handle more information, we have to invest in their capacity to act on it. Otherwise, we're just collecting useless intelligence. Adding complexity to the picture, these ransomware-specific proposals won't become law during the current parliamentary session. Instead, the government plans to advance the Cybersecurity and Resilience Bill, CSRB, a broader piece of legislation targeting cyber incident reporting in regulated critical infrastructure sectors, sometime in the future. However, the CSRB's definition of critical infrastructure is narrower than what the ransomware measures encompass, potentially leaving a gap between who must report and who is barred from paying ransoms. This patchwork approach raises important questions about alignment and policy consistency. For example, it could mean a smaller set of organizations is pushed towards improving cyber resilience through enhanced incident reporting, while a much wider group is forbidden from using ransom payments as a recovery tool. Could this inconsistency create confusion, or even hinder overall cyber defense efforts across the UK? As these developments unfold, one thing is clear: ransomware continues to be a complex and evolving threat that demands nuanced solutions. The UK government's latest proposals mark progress, but they also open the door to debate about the best way forward. What do you think? Will mandatory reporting and payment bans genuinely protect UK organisations from ransomware, or might they unintentionally make recovery harder? Are law enforcement agencies ready and equipped to handle the influx of data these rules will generate? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below. New law bans businesses from paying ransomware hackers. Don't let payment issues lock you out of essential services. We've made multiple unsuccessful attempts to process your subscription payment and have reached out to you several times about this problem. But here's the critical detail. Immediate action is required to maintain your access. You must update your payment information through My Account or by clicking Update Payment Details. Failing to do so will terminate your subscription. Consider this scenario. If you lose access, you could miss time-sensitive content like exclusive reports or premium features. Now for a thought-provoking angle. Should companies implement longer grace periods before cutting off service for payment issues? Where's the balance between business needs and customer convenience? Share your perspective below.